here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there is nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of this nightmare. But when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed
All right, folks, welcome. We're here tonight. That's right, Asphalt Tuesday. And I definitely feel a lot better than I did last week. But got old Zach up here with me tonight. We got Homestead, the trucks here, Coast to Coast Racing League. Homestead's a kind of a different track. I mean, I used to think of it as a Highline style track, Zach. I don't know, but are they still good at Highline a lot?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those tracks where, you can pretty much make either one work. I think you're going to see a lot of the guys who normally run towards the front try to run the high side a little early, be a little easier on those tires on exit. But they'll probably do the exact opposite and prove me wrong here. We'll have to see. But definitely one of my favorite tracks on the schedule, and I miss this being the last race of the season, Joe. I don't know about you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this is going to be, I heard him talking about it. I believe one person's already locked in. Mossow's already locked into the Final Four, but this will be the last race of the 8. So you're going to see those guys running real hard to try to lock themselves in for that final
Talking
showdown.
about the other points, right?
Yeah, what are we calling it? Yeah, the chase, I guess.
Yeah, okay. I got okay. I was in there thinking, a few more weeks to go.
Yeah,
Week 8. That's cool. What's wrong with that? That'll be it. Be interesting to see, like you said, locked into that and who actually, wins it, because I know it's been a heck of a battle. Guys out here qualifying right now. Lance Ripka, he's the man putting it on top. It all sharp. For our defending series champ, Cody Graham is not here. Oh. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Hadn't made a pass yet. Able to get out here and make one.
So sorry for everyone out there, but you're going to hear me being kind of quiet here in the beginning. Joe knows as good as anyone, but I'm having a little bit of live timing issue, so I'm going to try to get that working as well as I can here before the race starts. So I'm going to be piped down here.
Yeah, we're just waiting. It looks like a couple guys not made a qualifying. Pat Boyce, Offit, Graham, Parmalee, Cranmer not made a qualifying time. Not sure what. We'll start in the back, say, with it. Track like Homestead, which could prove me wrong. Say, yeah, it is these harder style tracks to pass after a while. Now the trucks are always a little different. I always use up cars do. With the trucks, they probably stay side by side for a while, almost like what we saw the other week. Stay side by side for about 15 laps or so, and then they got that out. And I take it back to how the race plays out to a driver. An aggressive style driver or conservative. That all can depend on how this place, man, works out for you, but it looks like we're going to have to grid here. Catalytic Crubber's starting lineup. We got Lance Ripka going to be out front in this one. Daniel Blau there in second. Sean Grace will start third. Joe Moose and Jacob Moose fourth and fifth. Kyle Mooden in sixth. And we got old Roland Olson starting in seventh. Brian Dittmer there in eighth. Tim Chapman up in the ninth place. Brad Wetzel there in 10th. Colin Johnson 11th. Joseph Canellis in 12th. 13th place spot going to be old John Krupa. Right behind him is going to be Andrew Cooper Smith starting 14th. 15th, there's Cody Graham. Greg Parmalee 16th. Mike Kramer 17th. Pat Boyce 18th. And Greg Offit down in the 19th place spot. So notable names that did not grid up here. Got Cody Graham back there in the back. Parmalee with him. Boyce heavy hitter names. Didn't agree.
Yeah, and you got to wonder why. I mean, maybe they all had something come up, or maybe they're going to try to go strategy or think something big's going to happen and just start from the pits. But that also could be a joke. Thinking about it, I think there were a couple penalties. We could have a couple start from pits.
Yeah, up here and look at hit note. I mentioned that. Yep, Cody Graham did not qualify. Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's why he didn't qualify. So he had the pit notes on the penalty there for the truck suit. Gotcha. Okay. So Cody did, Mike Kramer, Boyce. Others who didn't make it, but yep. That makes sense. Okay. Glad you mentioned that. But I forgot about it. But
yeah,
it's still,
me too.
It's still, as we're getting set here with our Mission 22 restart, Lucy Olsen green flag here, I still think, he could just be patient through this race and probably still get back to the front.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we'd love it to go green flag here, but I mean, odds are probably not. So you just got to be smart and make sure he's on the lead lap when that first caution comes out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You don't want to get caught up into it. Sometimes it's easy. Again, you see these trucks already side by side. That's going to happen here for the first several laps on the new tires. Got everything in the world. Again, I still feel like they're going to hit that high side before this race is over with, especially if we're getting a long style green flag run. You can already see them kind of going up there to the top. Ripken takes the lead. Battles on here for second. Sean Grace taking it over. Jacob Moose. And Kyle Mooney coming up through. Daniel Blau. So right now you see some bottom and top feet.
Yeah, finally got my live timing working perfect. So I'm going to have it all race here and get to watch a good show. But yeah, this is neat. We're almost seeing 3 wide there a little bit in the middle of the pack. Being a lot more aggressive than I thought they would this early on, Joe. But I guess you got to make passes while you got fresh tires, right?
When we talk about that a lot too, is Roland Olsen he slips a little bit coming out of turn. Well, good save on his end. We talk about that a lot. Some tracks just breed that, and I think that's what happens here a little bit. It's because you're going to find it hard to pass. I mean, it's a place where everybody's kind of running dead even time-wise. I mean, right now, you saw the times. It's 33s. I mean, it's a 35 all the way to 34.77. So, not right there, the second difference splitting the field. But, with that said, you mentioned it brings about being aggressive on the start, but you've got to be conservative too. You don't want to kind of overdrive it. I talked last night about a race at Phoenix, and that track is one of those tracks where it does not suit aggressive style drivers, and there's just some tracks like that. But then again, there's some tracks to where you've got to be aggressive at first. If not, then you're going to fall back.
Yeah, it truly is like walking the tightrope. I mean, if you're not, like you said, no matter where you are, you don't want to be super aggressive on the fresh tires, but at the same time, you got to make the passes while you can, because if, looking back at Graham here trying to pass my dad, Tim Chapman, if he tries this move 15 laps later, he probably can't stick on the bottom, and my dad can hold him up for 5-6 laps, whereas now you gotta go while you have the fresh tires, but then you have to float it up on exit, because you don't want to beat up the tires too much, or he might see my dad again here in 10-15 laps. So you gotta, it's tough to do.
And that's the fine walking line that you was talking about there was, Cody definitely right now is feeling it. A lot of guys are with the newer tires, and you make the passes, but be mindful that at some point you're going to have that's like brick wall, and you stop like that. Guys might come back up, and wild paint job Cullen Olsen. Cullen Johnson's got Halloween machine.
Yeah, he does. Got Chucky on the hood, I think.
Hopefully in here, man, Chucky's going to try to slice his tire and hits the wall or something.
Oh, man, wouldn't that be something? But yeah, like you're saying up front here, I mean, I just like what Brandon Dittmer and Sean Grace are doing right. Well, now, right as I say that, Dittmer's going to look low below him. But about the last 3 or 4 laps, Dittmer's been almost right up against that wall, just being real nice on the tires and still staying fast. And that's the difference. You know, you got to be good to him, but you got to be fast.
The hard part about passing here is it becomes that high groove, and you've got to take the low line because the guy in front of you is not just going to give you the high side. But with that said, you know, you mentioned it, with the tires getting older, as you see right here, it's a perfect example between Sean Grace and Dittmer. See how long it takes Dittmer just to get around Grace, if he can get around him. And the more he does that, brings up Daniel Blau and company behind him. So he's got to be, you know, in his back of his mind thinking about that. Man, if I can't get around Grace up here and make this pass, he might have him cleared here, but no, close. Yep, can't get it up there. But yeah, you just see how long it takes him. And it's just, to me, I call this the Auto Club effect. That track is known for it.
No, you're exactly right. And I mean, this. Oh, and then he gets a little loose there. Yeah, and you know, it's here. Our math isn't going to be exactly correct, but you know, one of those laps on the bottom is almost 1.5 laps on the tires of driving up on the top. When you driving in that hard on the bottom and you're trying to get by someone, you know, Brandon, as you see, he got the right side tires hot, and it was real easy for him to get loose because he's driving it in there so deep trying to get by these guys, but that's what you got to do.
Yeah, you see, back at it again, you know, and then frustration might set in. Here's where he has to keep his cool. Man, I just lost several spots. I was up there. Don't push that truck, because the more you push it, there again, tires are a factor. Yeah, you're fast. But, you know, I go back to a guy leading a lot of laps. He knows what his truck's going to do out front. We've seen this time and time again, have a bad pit stop, get marred back 3rd or 4th place, and then he's never a factor again, because you don't know what your truck is going to do. As opposed to somebody like, you know, Moon and Grace, or, you know, Moose and them, they know what it's going to do, so it's going to be even better if they get out front. The problem is if everything goes right for Ripka, they're never going to get out front. So Ripka needs everything to go right, and you know, you've got to just be able to get up there. But yeah, Dittmer right now, I think you can see the product of just tires up, and you need in that high lane.
Yeah, and you know, the guys 2nd through 5th there, they're pretty much running identical times, and Lance is just 0.2 a lap quicker. He's just really figured out how to save the tires but yet be fast. That's something that a guy like him, Bob Light, Dan McLaren, they're real good at that.
Yeah, and you know, even if Lance, you know, using up a little bit of the truck, this is the style of race. If it goes green, it works well in his favor. Actually, if it doesn't go, it still works well in his favor because the tires each time. But with that said, it could work really well, because even though he gets a huge lead out front, it's going to take Sean Grace a lot of time. By then, we've mentioned this before, pit stops, and boy, I tell you what, Dittmer back there in the back, he's knocking a wall down the Wonder Bridge. But by then, Lance is going to be on that pit cycle again and be right back at it. But I think Dittmer right now, he's driving a little aggressive. Maybe might want to sit and go, okay, I might need to calm down a little bit. No, I mean, we always say it, you don't want to be the caution. You might want one, but you don't want to be it.
No, and this is one of those times, too, where, you know, if Dittmer, we're seeing him drive aggressive, he's probably losing the tires a little bit. This is a time where if you're a guy in 2nd or 3rd and you're not running for points, but you're saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to get this guy on merit, maybe you consider coming in and pitting lap 20 and splitting this race up into 3, because it's a pretty big track. You might get caught a lap down doing that pit stop, but you're barely going to get caught a lap down. And if you're that first guy a lap down, you get the lucky dog. So it may be worth just trying to force the leader's hand here and get aggressive.
Well, you know, hard charger right now, Cody Graham, he's up 7, but we're at lap 15. You can just see how long it's taken him to come through the field. He's picking them off one by one, and that's about the only way he can do it. You know, he's definitely dead fast coming through there, but it's still all that time. That's what we were talking before, just coming through the field, how long it's taking him to do it. Other guys back here, about 13, 14 place spot, Roland Olson, Rupa, Mike Cranmer, Lee Offit and company. So little cluster battles going out throughout the field here. Not too bad to start so far.
None. Looking, everybody's running different lap times, obviously, but pretty comparative throughout the field. They're all almost a second off their slowest time. So, lap times are really starting to slow down here. And this is where I said, if you think this race has any chance of going green flag, the whole way out. Oh, as we get a little squirrely up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you think this race is going to go green, maybe you want to consider pitting at lap 20. I'm going to be anxious to see if anybody comes in and pulls the trigger.
Well, you know what? I got him hats off there to Jacob Moose. He very well could have just turned Grace right on around, but had the mindset and the wherewithal to stop, kind of ease out of the throttle instead of pushing right on through him right there, because Grace definitely was sideways in front of him. Daniel Blau, Kyle Moonen. That's a 3-truck race right there for second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, and Daniel Blau, he's on the bottom where I don't think you necessarily want to be right now, but I think he did a good job of saving his stuff. He's got a pretty fast truck, and he's just trying to look for a way around. But I love that. I believe October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I don't want to. Okay, good. I didn't want to sound dumb for that. I love that. Love that pink and white paint job. It's a pretty
been
fly
running
paint
all this month. I always say the Tata. One time we say the Tata.
Amen, brother.
But he's done. It's the Go Duck machine. Normally it's green, yellow out there. But yeah, he's been running the orange here, like I said, or the pink, excuse me, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. As happy Halloween to everybody out there too, folks. I mean, if you're in the U.S., if you're Canadian, I'll celebrate maybe, or Canadian Day. I don't know. I guess y'all should celebrate Halloween. But happy Halloween to everybody. It's October 31st, and then we'll split it on over to November. The year's about over with. 2 more months to go. It's the best time of year. I like October.
Yeah, it's not well, you're I guess a little more southern, so you don't get hammered with the snow. But up here, it's perfect.
Yeah.
The golfing weather, you got to wear long pants, but we're not getting any snow yet, and I enjoy this kind of weather as well.
Yeah, I mean, back when I grew up, we'd get snows during the winter, just seemed like last.
Seeing some pit stops, Joe. I was right. They're going to break this up at lap 20.
All right. And then 21, looks like Cullen Johnson, Roland Olson, Mike Cranmer. First, but yeah. 2 takers so far. We'll see what happens. What's the fuel? How far do you think they could go if they wanted to stretch?
Now, if they wanted to do this, I believe they can go 39 laps. So let's say Lance really does like his tires. He can go 1 stop, but I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah, see, you see a couple more people coming in. I think when some people bring in the pressure, it's almost like F1. You just got to kind of answer. You don't want to get caught on old tires and feel like you can't pass. If you're the guy out front and you were already faster, you just want to, keep yourself even with the rest of the field.
Well, and now you say that, I was going to ask, what do you think Ripka has to do? Does he take it to lap 30 at least?
If I'm Lance, and I mean, looking at these lap times, he's still pretty fast. I mean, actually, the last lap, Jacob Mossow did catch him by 0.3 of a second. So if he's watching that relative and he sees Jacob, now they ran pretty even times that last lap.
You got to look also at that 2.5 speed he's got.
Yeah, so I mean, if he's not getting chewed up from behind, he's probably going to keep that, and I'd imagine try to 1-stop it. But if Jacob's really eating him up, he might feel the pressure and go in pit. But I think it's going to take a lot for him to get rid of that lead right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And right now, like you said, we're just watching pit stops happen here. We're talking about the leader who's got a 2.4-second lead. And, even though, Moose right there behind him could have gained a little bit, and he gained a little bit there, Ripka could afford to give up some of that lead and save some tires. I mean, that's another thing we haven't really, mentioned here. He could save the tires and push it to lap 30. And if he doesn't give up a lot, like what you were saying this time. So he does push it quite a bit. Lap 24. 25. This gives him, I think, I mean, he's already got it fast enough, but this here probably gives him an even more of an edge.
Yeah. Then, if he runs the next one 25, then he's got 10 qualifying laps there at the end of the race. So I think that's going to be his strategy. And then I think you're seeing other, not to call him out, but other guys that normally aren't as fast, like,
Let me ask you this.
Jim Chapman, some of them, I think they might stay out and try to one-stop it.
Yeah, now let me ask you this now. Let's look at Blau, who's going to take up, well.
Yeah, right as you say that, he goes down pit road.
Okay, Ripken's going to come back out. Moose is going to be there with him. So when, I know you said a 10-lap shootout, but on a track like this where all lap time, and I think track position is king, what if somebody comes in and 2 tire stops this and can get far enough in front of Ripken? We might see what happened a couple weeks ago. Remember what happened in that race where they couldn't make up the ground?
Yeah, I mean, you might see it. Some of the guys, like I say, this is just from me talking. I do not do well getting just 2 tires in this truck. It really upsets the balance. You can get away with it a little more in the Cup car than you can in these trucks. They're just so wiggly in the rear end as the tires wear off that I don't like to offset the balance, but some people can. And I mean, if you can save yourself 5 seconds in the pits, and only lose 0.4 a lap on those tires, I mean, do the math, you're going to be just fine. But it's definitely a handful to hold on to.
Well, let's look right now. You see Kyle Moonen right there on the bumper. Ripken had over a 2-second lead when he stepped out. Kyle Moonen pitted at the same time. And let me break down something for you on why Moonen's probably as close as he is and where he's at. There's 2 pit stop times. I've alluded to this several times in past broadcasts. You always hear about the pit stop itself, how fast they are. Well, the pit stop between Ripken and Moonen, Ripken had a 15:18, Moonen had a 15:20, and you're probably thinking, well, darn Joe, well, he's already faster. What the heck? Not necessarily. There's another number you have to really, really look at here. It's called total pit time. It's how long it takes them to get, or when they get on pit road, do the pit stop, and then get off pit road. And that right there is where Moonen made the time, as Ripken had a 44:28. Moonen had a 43:15. He picked up over a second somewhere in between. And we've talked about the little lines on iRacing before. Those are the speed lines. You got to have a pit road speed. You can kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Cheat the system. There we go.
Yeah, cheat.
Yeah, look, because you can speed up in between those lines, but as long as you're back to pit road speed before you cross or hit that line, it won't penalize you. And that is I guess a pro level or whatever level person on pit road. Now, in real life, they don't have that luxury because they really don't know where the line is. So, but here in iRacing, we do. We have those lines, and that's where you see them on pit road. I learned that when I was racing. So if you know how to modulate that, you could pick up a lot of time in and off pit road. And obviously that's what Moonen did. He picked up a lot of time. Let's get in your pit stop box, stuff like that. I've said it many times, Zach, mental mistakes. You can win or lose a race on pit road. That is probably the number one spot on asphalt racing to where you win or lose a race at.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, especially tracks, the super speedways, I 100% tell my teammates, we save gas and make sure we can pit by ourselves, because you do not want to get caught behind someone who, when the speed limit's 55, is doing 55 mile an hour, 15 car lengths before the line. Because, I mean, those top guys, if you're getting 4 tires, I mean, you make them pay for it at the line. You throw smoke coming into the pits, and you need to get all that time you can. And, I mean, you said it. I'm sure that was a big part of Moonen. I mean, really coming in there, carrying a lot of speed into the pits, whereas Lance, he's got a big lead. He's going to come in conservative, and just trying to make sure he's not speeding. So that's the different strategies you see at play, and, I mean, we're going to see it all night.
Always was my problem, getting to the pit road there. I was always self-conscious about not speeding going. I'd either be too slow going in, not getting it locked down, like you said. And I was good with the little lines, getting to the pit box, but just getting into that pit road, and that's right. Sometimes you lose a lot of time coming off, but if you got a big lead, why not? You can give up a couple tenths, like you said. Hey, just to make sure you're on the safe side getting on pit road.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Lance, he had that 2.5 second lead. He's playing the long game. There's no reason to be aggressive in pit road. He's kind of proven over these that first green flag run that he's the truck to beat, and he's going to make them pass him on the track, not get some cheap black flag here. But Jacob Mossau, he's really marched up here. He had a fast car at the end on that last run. I'm anxious to see if he's going to be a little bit more aggressive here with the new tires and try to see if he can not let Lance walk away as far, because he was one of the quicker trucks before they made pit stops.
Watch this battle back here with Olsen, and just watch Joseph Canellis there. He had a run going on Olsen, but remember what we was talking about earlier. The truck instantly started to just step out from under him. Can't make the pass. He's still there, but you just don't have the grip up under there.
No, and this is where frustration maybe sets in. You're thinking to yourself, like, man, I'm trying to pass you for 10th. We got half the race to go. Maybe just follow me, learn something. And, and then right as I say that, I think Roland did maybe crack the throttle a little bit to give it up to him, and maybe just drop in line here, because it's not the time to fight anybody yet. Not just yet, boys.
No, and, and you bring that up, and you talk about a lot of guys. Obviously, you'll see a lot more, talking or whatnot, which you don't see it a lot here because it's so hard to pass anyways. And as far as what Olsen's doing, I mean, he's holding the line, and I'm a big advocate of, if you've got that line, it's the guy behind you's responsibility to get around you. I mean, even the leader. The one thing the leader doesn't want to see is a guy, going to the bottom, going to the top. Make up your mind which way you want to go to the bottom, you'll go to the top. I mean, I got to make a pass either way somehow.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I've never been a fan of F1 where when you get the blue flags, you get out of the way. I'm not saying you race the leader, but hold your line. Make him get around you. And I mean, without a guaranteed lucky dog for everyone, and no more racing back to the line like they used to, there's just you got to make everybody earn everything. You can't give it to them for free.
Yeah, absolutely. And and that's a road racing thing. It happens up and on. How do you dictate whether or not the guy in front of you is holding you up? But even if he is, again, you don't want him out there flip-flopping back and forth. Stay in your line, even if it's the preferred line that you need. If you're that much faster than him, you're going to get around him, period. Is Dittmer back here just off the wall? That thing is just eating it.
Yeah, I think frustration maybe set in for him a little bit, and getting in the wall out. I didn't realize he fell down to 14th. I wonder if maybe he had some pit stop issues.
Well, his pit stop was a minute. So
yeah,
he might have
got
got a penalty, or he got some optional repairs. Remember, he hit that wall earlier, hanging on the top, and Olin Johnson's in. Now, this is something I want to bring in up to you. You were talking about splitting the pit stops up here. I don't know. I mean, other than Lance Ripka right now, let's look at the second place though. Moose there with Blau and them, they're close to each other. Well, even Moose, man, he's got a pretty good lead though. I'll still stay with it. Second, third, and fourth. With those guys the way they are, do you want to only give yourself 10 or 8 laps, or do you maybe come in here in the next 4 or 5 and make sure you've got enough time to maybe catch back up?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Jacob, you maybe consider short pitting if you think you can make the tires hold up. But with the fall off I've seen everyone have, I think at this point, if you're second, third, or fourth, and you really think, I may can win this thing, I think you stay out as long as you can and you hope for a caution. And you hope that Lance, the leader, has already pit. And then when you come in and pit, you have those brand spanking new tires, because I think that's the only way anybody's going to get Lance right now.
Tell you, the man that I think that might benefit from a short pit, guy sitting in fourth place up 11 spots, it's Cody Graham. His lap times are there with Ripka, and that tells me that he's not going to catch Ripka. If it keeps playing out the way it is, he'll just run out of time. But if he maybe can get a little advantage on some tires, he might be able to. Or if he can get, I don't see Ripka doing it. Or if he could get Ripka to pit now and he stays out maybe another couple laps past, maybe on that part. But, you know, without a caution, if it goes green, I think Graham's just going to time. I think top 3 out of this. And that's doable because he's only 1.8 behind Daniel Blau.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, it's almost like you were saying, it sucks having to wait on the leader, but and you can't wait too long, because if your plan is to go after the leader and be aggressive, you pit now. If your plan is to hold on and hope for that caution, then you don't care what Lance does. You're hoping he pits now, and you're staying out as long as you can. So if you come in and pit right with the leader and you're second, third, or fourth, I mean, that really does nothing for you. So if the time to pit now or time to wait for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, even on where Jacob's sitting right now, he's 3.6 seconds. Ripka has the advantage hugely here, especially with how this track and how the race does. So I look back here, like with Cody Graham when we were talking, he's only 1.5 behind Blau, 4 seconds behind Moose. Now, it's going to be a little tougher uphill to get to that one, but it's doable for him to get a top 3, which would be, to me, a win, actually coming in. And right now he's on pit road, so he is going to take the short track. And, well, as I say that right there probably just killed everything. Wow. That's the mental mistake I was talking about. But you got to push it. But right there is the mistakes that we're talking about on pit road.
Yeah.
Might not be too bad because Dittmer's 20-some seconds back. Well, he'll probably... Yeah, that's a tough one there. Wow.
Yeah, no, definitely is. But like you said, you gotta be aggressive. And I mean, Lance does the right thing, sees the guys behind him pit, comes in, follows suit, makes sure to cover them off. And I think barring a miracle for these guys or a late race caution, we might have speak to Lance tonight in victory lane.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't mess it up here, see what we got. I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. Jacob comes in with him. I guess at this point he's probably thinking what he can do is come in. And again, he could pick some spots up here, or pick some time up, on pit road. See, Ripka. 2. Okay, they're about the same coming off pit road. Jacob had a little bit better pit stop, but total time kind of killed him just a little bit. But puts Kyle Moonen right there. Moonen's going to pass. I mean, the problem with that pass is it's not going to get him far enough ahead, I don't think. He would need to probably be, well, I'd like that. Them tires are bad off. He would have needed 4 or 5 seconds at minimum. Ripka's going to be very patient here. He knows it's just a matter of time. He'll go right back moving.
Yeah, I thought Moonen was actually going to be able to hold him up for much longer than that. Lance made that look pretty easy there.
That's just a fall off of those tires you was talking about. I mean, it's only 4 or 5 laps difference, but it could be huge. We haven't seen that, and man, he's out there dirt tracking it right now. That truck is loose, and he keeps that up, and he's pretty much going to have to come back in. Tires are he's going to be really
they're out of tires, Joe. Anybody who's taking,
wow.
Yeah, we get 3 sets. The ones we start with.
Wait a minute, he took 2
ones.
tires. He took 2. Oh, that's why that thing's that loose. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to tell
example.
You. Yeah, that's why 2 tires in this truck for me is a no, man. It's just it offsets the balance so bad, and you get a car or a truck suck up behind you just like that. The air gets taken off the spoiler. And, I mean, he's going to hang on to this thing.
Going to have to come in for the two. Tighten that thing back up some because it's getting to where it's undrivable. And that's another thing we don't really mention a lot of. You know, trucks and the cars can get to a point where they're undrivable. I mean, I don't care how much skill you got. It could get to a point where you can't back up the throttle enough to where it's going to slide. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, he, like I say, I don't know. I seriously doubt he comes in and wastes that time to come and get those two tires. But he learned for the next time that, you know, maybe just go ahead and take that extra 5 or so seconds to get those other tires on, because at the end of the day, normally worth it.
Back and forth, Ripka out front in this one. Been a good one so far here at Homestead. Coast to Coast Racing League here tonight. Got an Asphalt Tuesday here with the trucks. Good series so far running with these guys. The defending series champ, though, had some issues the last couple. Tonight, he got it up there to 4th. And just a mental bad mistake hitting in pit road got him back to 7th. He really could, maybe has enough time to catch Wetzel, I believe. He's 3 seconds back. We'll have to see. Right now, he's sitting right there, 7th place spot. Meanwhile, battle for 2nd. Jacob and Grace, those two guys are right there on top of each other.
Yeah, and you know, I hate to be that guy, Joe, but kind of rooting for a caution here. I'd love to see the field bunched up with some old tires and you know, see a 5-lap shootout here. So
you just want to see the mayhem.
That would be neat.
Now, if they had new tires, it might be a little different, but old tires on a start now. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, you watched the Xfinity race the other night, right? Those restarts can be exciting.
Yeah, you know, to me, I know there's big controversy. I don't want to get too far, so there's big controversy. To me, that was just hard racing. They were side by side. I mean, I didn't really short track racing.
No, I think Creed did everything the exact way you're supposed to, and I think
they just raced hard.
Mad.
I mean,
double foul in front of the leader here. Lance is really hoping these guys let him by here.
Well, but here's the thing: he's got a 1.7 second lead. He can take his time a little bit here, let them fan out a little bit. Doesn't have to push it. This is where smart racing comes in. He can take his
time, Joe, but it's down to a 1.5 seconds. Jacob's coming.
Well, yeah, it's true. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to take too much time, but he's got to be smart here. You don't want to push that envelope. You know, got to remember, Jacob's got to come through those trucks too.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it kind of. I mean, I guess I shouldn't race like this as a lapper, but it's almost one of those things. You make the leader work harder, I think, than, you know, anybody else. Because once you're kind of a lap down, you're a little bit defeated. But you really don't want that 1L beside you at the end of the race. So you really make the leader work for it.
I've seen that a lot, you know, and that's something I think, like you said, it's a mental psyche thing. Because, like right here, you see Moose, he's just going to go right up underneath him. And you're right, I've seen it a lot, and it's not, you know, lap cars like, oh, well, fine, you know, you're just coming through, go on. I think I'm with you. Is once you get that lap down, you're just like, man, point. You know, it's like, dang, ain't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get yourself mentally defeated, it's real tough to keep going. And speaking of mental defeated, I think Dittmer's maybe going to be kicking himself. He's might go a lap down here to Lance. And at the start of this race, it looked like he had a real fast truck, but just that pit road penalty and getting in the fence there early really cost him.
Well, you talk about it, once they got around that lap traffic, I mean, Ripka has just been able to pick it back up. He had a 34 flat to 21 there at Moose, and that's 2/10 just right off the bat. He's that lead back up to 1.817. So whatever Ripka's doing, keep doing it. Definitely got it. Sean Grace is falling back a little bit. Back in 3rd, Daniel Blau. Well, never mind. Battle for 3rd here because Daniel Blau said 3rd for Grace. But Blau says, you know what? I take this thing.
Yeah, Blau, you know, he's turning off some pretty good laps. I'm not too sure. Or yeah, he was one of the later people to pit lap before the leaders, so he's got 4-lap pressure
44.
tires. Yeah, he's
One
got
lap,
4-lap
ain't too bad.
tires.
Yeah,
Then,
Grace pitted at 40.
Grace.
Wetzel pitted at 39. Let's see what Cody Graham, if he's at catch. Yeah, he's right there. He's 2/10 off of Wetzel. So he has a shot here. If he can get around maybe this lap car, get there, Wetzel, he has a shot to get to 5th place.
Yeah, and he's going to be kicking himself because even if he just does the average pit stop, you add 6 seconds onto what he did, and or take 6 seconds off of that pit time, and I mean he's right up there battling for almost second.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's right there on the back bumper. Wetzel going to try to see if he can't make the pass, battle for 5th. Wetzel makes a slip up to the top. He does kind of middle, get tight on him there, but here's where he's got to be careful because he's really loose, but clean pass for 5th. Go. Meanwhile, Ripka's taking his time here with Dittmer. I mean, really, to be honest with you, he doesn't have to push the envelope to get around Dittmer.
No,
2-second lead.
I mean, why would you, Joe? Because I mean, if God forbid we get a caution here, and there's a green-white checkered, he wants to have a little bit left, but we're getting the white flag here, so race is going to be over. Next flag we're getting is checkered flag here, Joe.
It is. I always say they didn't kill himself. It won't matter. Ripka's been in charge most of the race all night. It's been old Moose there, Jacob behind him, Daniel Blau. So for the final time, got Lance Ripka, and we've had it clean green from start to finish here at Homestead. The Asphalt Tuesday. That man right there has put on a dominating performance. Got in and out of pit road beautiful. Comes off turn 4 for the final time. Going to put in victory lane. Lance Ripka, Jacob Moose out there behind him, and Daniel Blau's going to bring her home in 3rd. What a solid race this was here tonight for Homestead.
Yeah, and honorable mention, good recovery for Cody Graham there. The pit stop issue, and I believe the penalty there having to come from the back, but that's a impressive race there for Cody.
It was. He came up 10. He's going to be the hard charger here of the race tonight. Spots coming up. Just goes to show you just how really good that guy is. But Ripka has turned up the needle here so far this season. Kind of just brought the heat. Really looked strong all season long, and like he had teammate 1 and 3.
Yeah, good catch.
Blau, let's get.
Hey, Daniel, Zach in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach. Yep, I got you.
Well, hey, man. Pretty much almost finished where you started. Pretty consistent night for you. Did you think maybe you went too hard there a little early and burnt your tires up on that first run, or were you just trying to save and go as long as you could?
Yeah, first run I went real super easy on the tires. I wanted to see how far I could get. If we got a caution, maybe make it to at least halfway. But second run I pretty much did the same thing, but just pitted way earlier. I pitted it about 20 laps instead of the 26, and then that last run it was just a 15 lap run, so it was just balls to the wall and go. See how many more spots I could pick back up.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did a good job out there. You were consistent. I don't believe you even had any incident points. I don't think I saw you brush the wall once. So you had a clean truck and good, fast third place finish. You got anybody you want to thank on it?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I appreciate it, sir. Yeah, obviously my favorite football team, Go Ducks. But no, raceprint.com, Northwest Arsenal. My good buddy Lance, he's always helping me out with paint and setup stuff. So always good finishing on the podium with him. Anytime I can see him at the end of the race, I feel like I've had a good race. He's been so dominant in everything he races lately, so I always appreciate his help. And then obviously you guys for the broadcast, you guys do a great job. I always like going back after the race and listening to you guys.
Well, we really appreciate it, Daniel. Good job tonight on the third place, and it's definitely always nice when you got a teammate there to share the podium with. So good job, and hopefully we talk to you again next week.
Yeah, thanks again, Zach.
Yep, take it easy, Daniel.
Yeah, second place man. That's Daniel Blau. We're at the third place guy up here, Jacob. Let's.
Hey, Jacob, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I sure do.
Well, man, P2, it seemed like, you know, we were talking about you a lot. It seemed like as the laps would level off, you were, you know, hanging with him, would even gain on Lance a little bit. I'm talking, you know, after 16, 17 laps, you seem to have a real good long run car, but on the short run, Lance was just tough to catch. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, he had this thick line. I don't know how he was doing it. I raced another race like that in the trucks a couple weeks ago when Homestead was on the officials, and the guy beat me by doing the same line, and I just couldn't figure it out. And I just knew the line I ran saved my tires up a little bit. It was slower, but saved my tires up, and then on the long run I was faster. But yeah, he was just dominant, and I could catch him here and there, but he was just real fast, nice smooth line, and definitely deserved that win.
Yeah, you know, that's something else to bring up too for everybody out there listening. You know, you were talking about running officials. I like running officials as well, and see the difference in attitude for everybody out there listening, and between the officials and a line like Jacob was running, where Jacob come lap 70, lap 60, you know, he's going to be one of the fastest cars on the track, whereas here we cut the fuel load in half, so it's almost, you know, you can't run qualifying laps the whole time, but it's a little more, you know, hang them out the window and go for it. So it's just Lance is really good at that strategy, and he's tough to beat.
Yeah, he really is.
But you ran great tonight, Jacob. That second place. You got anybody you want to thank on it?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank all the boys at GCAM Racing, Fast Ice Hot Rods, Main Street Auto, you and Joe for doing the broadcast tonight. Always fun to go back and watch it. And then Coast to Coast for this great league.
Really appreciate it, Jake, and congratulations on the second place. Hopefully we talk to you again next week.
Thank you.
Yo, well, this guy here, though, had a lockdown tonight. Lance, join the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you know, you had this place figured out. Let us know here, though. Did you feel like tire wear, maybe, or the fuel mileage was going to play a factor here tonight?
I did on that after that first run. I think I ran it a little bit too hard at the beginning of the run, and I was watching the cars. Well, Jacob was kind of slowly but surely starting to track me down, and I did kind of get a tight, loose feeling coming off of 4, especially. You know, but second run, you know, I was able to manage it a little bit better. I still feel Jacob was a little bit better than me on the long runs, but I just kept adjusting and adjusting my line and how hard I was driving it into the corner. And I think on that last run, we were pretty even. Yeah,
and I gotta ask, when me and Zach saw up here, what's your feeling on the two tire stuff?
You know, taking 2 on this, it depending on the scenario. I mean, if you were able to get kind of a short stint and then take 2, it's not so bad. But you get such a looseness coming off late in the run that if you did it too early, or with too many laps left, it could really hurt your times at the end of the run.
But man, like I said, came out here, dominated this thing, caution free here tonight. Homestead, you got anybody want to thank for a good win?
Of course, everybody over there at Spartan Racing. I know they haven't been racing a whole lot, but we're still talking. Daniel Blau, heck of a run. Glad to see him up on the podium. Spartan I already did that one. VMR Wraps, Ripka Designs. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and everybody in the background that makes it all happen.
There you go, winner tonight, dominating fashion, Lance Ripka. Well, Zach, man, what a race it was, and went caution free here at Homestead here.
Yeah, you know, Joe, I think this season when I've done this with you, I think the 2 or 3 times that I've mentioned at the beginning of the race that I seriously doubt this thing goes caution free. I think it's gone caution free every time, Joe. So that's the move. I just need to say that line. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Hey, it was a good race. Ripka pulled it off here tonight for the Asphalt Tuesday here at the Coast to Coast Racing League. Definitely check out c2crl.com for everything, man, here at the Coast to Coast Racing League. For myself and everyone, have a good night.